We really don't have a whole lot of details at this point. We do know we have Sky 5 overhead, and we'll check in with Mark when he's ready. But we do know that this vehicle or van, I guess you could say, was on the 110 freeway and now appears to be going very fast on some surface streets. And that's always a dangerous thing because there's red lights and people crossing streets and, you know, all sorts of things that pose all kinds of problems when we're watching a pursuit. And it looks like it's pulling into, well, it looks like another street, another neighborhood street. Yeah.
And of course, when you get on those streets like that, they get really tight. You see some pedestrians right there, now turning onto another street. He's probably just kind of going around in circles right now and probably looking for some place to dump the vehicle. Let's go up to Sky 5 and Mark Kona, who's actually been following this for quite a few minutes now. Mark, what can you tell us?
Glenn and Jessica, yeah, we just came up on this about a minute ago here. This is a stolen vehicle, a van, a white cargo van here that was reported stolen out of the South LA area just minutes ago. Now, we actually caught this van as you guys were coming to our picture when it was northbound on the 110 freeway. Now, for a time, this thing was going southbound on the 110 freeway. This initiated right near the Coliseum. So just to give you an idea where we are going here, we are northbound on surface streets here, just kind of paralleling the 110 freeway on the west side, heading back over towards the original area where this pursuit began. And now he's just collided with a car as well as a Central Division officer of the LAPD here. Now he is backing up. It looks like he is trying to evade arrest here. We will see what he attempts to do. It looks like he's going to be making his way southbound. He was just northbound on that very street. Now he's going southbound. It looks like he's made his way out of that particular ahead of him here. He's going to be coming up on that interchange right now. And as you can see, there he is. He's just collided with a vehicle here. He's just collided with cross traffic here right at the intersection of Washington. And so police units are behind him. He's going to try and get away here. And does he? He sure does. Oh my gosh. So now he's going to be eastbound on Washington. He somehow, wiggles his way out of in front of him. Basically cars that are getting off the freeway. He's going to try and shimmy around on the right shoulder there. It looks like he's, he's just kind of pushing cars out of the way, trying to get through. And, you know, other cars don't want to get involved in this. And so they're going to move out of the way. And that seems to be the case. He's made his way to the front of the line and just passed all of those cars who are waiting to move off the freeway here. So now he's going to be, he is westbound on Jefferson, just on the north side of the campus of USC. And I believe he's going to be coming up on Vermont. And he is now kind of shimmying through traffic there. And he might have collided with a couple of those cars here. Now southbound on Vermont, just on the west side of the campus of USC now. And again, this guy just has shown us that he will do absolutely anything necessary to evade capture here.
And you said you saw him on the cell phone earlier. He was messing around with something when you zoomed in there. But, you know, another thing that no one knows is whether this person's armed. You know, he could very well be. They just probably don't know all those details at that point, which makes it incredibly difficult to handle a situation like this.
Well, it looks like he's now turning on Exposition Boulevard.
Eastbound Expo.
Yeah, he's now on Exposition Boulevard. The USC campus is over there to the right. You see the metro.
He looks wedged in between this.
Yeah, he might be getting stuck in between these two vehicles here. We're going to make our way northbound and see if we can see some of the activity. Yeah, for a time he was wedged, but now he's kind of made his way through traffic there. He's on Exposition now, turning southbound onto a smaller street here, basically on the south side of the USC campus here. All right, he's coming up on the Coliseum on the west side. Go ahead.
No, you just hate to see it around the campus, too, because so many students are out walking to and from class.
Well, there's that one intersection in Jefferson, and you can see, as a matter of fact, you can see the LA Coliseum right there. Yeah, he's inside of Exposition Park right now. The Coliseum on the one side, the soccer fields, and he's going by the old swimming pool from the '32 Olympics. Now he's off of that property, and he's down in side streets, down in South LA now, south of the Coliseum. And these are some tight streets, and now, again, you got to start worrying about pedestrians.
And it really doesn't appear to have caused any difficulty with operating this vehicle with all the damage that this van has sustained at this point. You would think it would be a lot more difficult.
Well, he came around that one corner we saw earlier and slammed into the black and white unit and another vehicle head on and hit him really hard, backed up, took off.
Tower TV5.
And went through that other intersection and, you know, hit that SUV just a couple of minutes ago. And again, it looked like that was going to be the end of it. black and white units were right on top of him, but he still managed to maneuver and get out and escape again.
Yeah.
But look at the damage on the front end. I mean, it's completely exposed. I'm surprised that the radiator is not leaking water, and he has now he's going in an alley. This will be interesting here.
That could lead to a dead end or something. And also, for those of you who don't know, Mark Kono is flying a helicopter, and he's also talking to air traffic control and keeping out of the way of LAPD that's in the sky and all sorts of things. So he's juggling many things as well. That's what you're hearing.
Okay, back northbound
as well.
Back northbound. It looks like he may be slowing down.
Yeah, I think
back northbound. It looks like.
I think this pursuit is starting to take.
It looks like this guy is basically.
Go ahead.
It looks like this guy is basically in the same general vicinity where this all kicked off about half an hour ago. He's kind of been circling a couple of. Wow! Almost came up on crash traffic there, and wow, we almost had another collision there. My goodness, he is basically eastbound approaching the Harbor Freeway at this point. But this is basically the general vicinity where this all kicked off, and so this may be an area of familiarity to this guy here. And as he comes up to that intersection up there, Figueroa, there are a couple of officers waiting there, and he just got spike stripped. I believe he may have been spike stripped there. Hopefully they got him, and that might help to disable this guy's car. But here he is back now eastbound on the major street there, and so yeah, this is logically this seems like an area of familiarity because this is the same general vicinity where this all kicked off, and this is kind of where he's returned to. So here we are traveling through some commercial and residential areas at a very high rate of speed. So we will kind of follow this around and see what this guy does.
Well, we're starting to see a lot of pedestrians out on the street, so obviously the word's getting out. People have been watching the news, and the word's getting around. So, we've seen these situations before where the longer these go on, they start to attract a crowd.
Yeah.
People start anticipating. They start standing on the street corners and waving and cheering or whatever. Hopefully they're rooting for the police in this situation. But you just don't know. It's crazy. See those people running back there? Now, oh, look at that. Again on the wrong side of the street.
I'm wondering if he did make contact with that spike strip because he seems to be really out of control at this point.
Well, I don't see the tires, but the tires aren't smoking. You don't see the tires smoking, so... Now he's going down, looks like another
alley. Coming through an alley northbound. Now he's going to be making a right-hand turn off to the east. He's going to be coming up on some traffic here, some LAPD traffic waiting at the intersection. Now turning southbound.
And you hate to anticipate how this is going to end because this is a guy that's not going to go easy.
Yeah,
you know.
Okay. Mark, you think at almost some point that one of the an officer at one of these intersections would try to T-bone him?
Well, you know what, Glenn? I don't know about that. You think the best they might be able to hope for would be to spin him at some point if given the correct amount of speed here. But I will tell you, this neighborhood is thoroughly saturated with LAPD officers here. I mean, again, this just seems like a familiar area to him, and so there are officers at several of the intersections. However, having just said that, he's just going to be coming up on a bus here. My gosh, turning northbound. At the rate that he's kind of ripping through these small streets and coming up on major intersections here, I'm just surprised that he hasn't T-boned an officer or someone else. We have already seen several accidents already directly involving this guy coming too fast and blind into intersections here. So now he's northbound. I will say that he's probably traveling a little bit slower than he was at its peak. Maybe that van is showing some signs of wear, or maybe it's slightly disabled. We just don't know at this point. Here he's going to be making a right turn, and there he is. And he's just tried to make the right turn a little bit too fast, and now he's going to try and get out of this. And so he has been able to do so countless times before, and now here's another time. He is just now he was basically taking that turn too fast, and he couldn't make the turn, and so he just got pinned up against the curb there and the vehicle. But he is able to get out of that one, as we have seen time and time again at this point. So again, he's just kind of making his way, making the round through the neighborhood here, east, west, north, and south through this residential area, just south of the Coliseum by about 3 to 5 blocks at this point. But he's just kind of making his way around.
I can't believe how many times he's gotten out of a predicament here. We've seen.
Yeah, and he backed up and hit another black and white unit, so that's another charge of assault with a deadly weapon. And this is. It's just amazing he's lasted as long as he has. It really is, considering the damage to that vehicle, and he just continues to go.
And that they can't corner him in. They're so close every time, and he gets away.
Well, it looked like they were going to try a pit maneuver that intersection a couple of, about 30 seconds ago, but there was another vehicle sitting there, so there's no way they could do that. And you see there a pedestrian there running to get out of the way.
Okay.
Again, if you're just joining us, you're watching The View from Sky 5. This is a cargo van that was stolen in South Los Angeles near the LA Coliseum in Exposition Park. And it looks like another spike strip.
Spike strips. There we go. Good job. Good job. Great placement on that spike strip. As he was coming around that intersection, they laid down the spike strip, and apparently he ran right over it. So this vehicle does seem to be moving a little bit slower, although having said that, he is trying his very best to get away and evade capture at this point here. Several officers of the LAPD are stationed around the neighborhood here, and you know, given the fact that they were able to lay down spike strips at that particular intersection, tells us that yeah, he has been kind of making the rounds through that same intersection. So they are not able to predict his moves so much, but they know that he is kind of working his way around this same neighborhood. So by that, they have been able to lay down those spike strips and hopefully do a little bit more damage to the van and hopefully bring this to an end.
You know, Mark, we always see that when these pursuits get to this point that they usually return to the neighborhood they're familiar with. They probably live there. What's amazing is he probably is a good bet that he lives in this neighborhood. But he also committed a crime in the same neighborhood. He stole a van. I mean, somebody's probably going to know him and turn him in for the stolen vehicle if he'd have gotten away with it. It seems like you would have committed the crime, you'd go to another neighborhood.
Yeah, you would think, but you know, who can attest to the logic of what these guys do and why they do things. But
he's literally going
I
in
don't know for sure that the van is from this particular neighborhood, but he definitely knows. Well, he certainly seems to know a little bit about the layout of this neighborhood here in terms of streets and where to turn, and he just seems to kind of know the ins and outs of this neighborhood. So he has been just kind of making the rounds over say a 5 to 10 block square radius here, and he continues to do so.
Yep. They're getting him at each stop sign, though. I mean, he's ran over multiple, and then now an officer just pulled back a woman there on the corner.
Somebody was yelling, ran out in the street and was yelling at him.
Somebody was yelling at him. Maybe someone he knows, like Glenn said, if he does live in this neighborhood, there could be relatives, asking him to stop.
Okay, he's coming down the alley.
He's turning down another alley, and the officer's right behind him. But you think at this point, just give it up. I mean, you're not
getting away.
There's the chance of you getting away passed a long time ago. But he continues to.
If he makes the right turn here. If he makes the right turn, half a block down is where that officer pulled that woman back. So we will see. It looks like this may be an area of familiarity here. He has gone through that intersection now, and that was the intersection that we just saw that officer and that woman just moments ago here. He has just passed that intersection. And yeah, this van is definitely disabled and on its way to slowing down even more. So hopefully they can bring this to an end. It sure seems like that is going to be the case at this point. He just steps out of the van. He is just running. He's foot-bailed into this kind of shopping center here. He's in the parking lot. LAPD guys are in pursuit on foot. He is just kind of making his way around, but I would suspect that he slips, and that is what's going to do him in. So he slips and falls, and that's what did him in. The LAPD able to swarm this guy basically and bring this to an end. Wow, what an amazing pursuit, my goodness.
Well, it doesn't look like he's given up very easy. I mean, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well,
they keep coming.
They keep coming. They have got a struggle on their hands.
Okay. Yeah, this is Vermont, just south of 43rd, where this just came to a termination, or where the pursuit just came to termination here. But you can see there's no shortage of officers here ready to take this guy into custody here. He has led this police force on a pursuit for at this point for the better part of half an hour, even longer. This pursuit basically started right in this general neighborhood here, and that is where it ends. But yeah, this is on Vermont here, just south of 43rd, and this is going to be tied up for quite a while for the investigation here. But yeah, there you go. This suspect, this stolen vehicle suspect, has now been taken into custody.
Okay, Mark Kono up in Sky 5, and look at him. He's actually laughing.